Okay, it's recording. Hello, my name is Gabrielle Allemeyer. I'm a FeedbackPanda contributor and a teacher. You may also know me as at ESL with Gabrielle on Instagram. And today we're here with Margaret Brumbaugh. Hello, Margaret. Nice to see you.
You too.
So, first question, where are you? Where are you teaching from?
Litchfield Park, Arizona. That's about 20 minutes west of Phoenix.
Okay, very good. And how long have you been teaching?
Um, Total about 9 years teaching online. I just signed my 6-month contract, so
Oh,
right.
congratulations.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've been teaching for 9 years. Does that mean that you started out in teaching? What is your educational and professional background in?
My undergrad's in psychology. I was originally going to go into that. I worked in the juvenile prison for a while. I was a behavior specialist in a self-contained class with students that had severe emotional and psychiatric disabilities. Then I started working on my graduate degree in speech therapy, and I was substitute teaching, got my speech therapy degree, and I did cognitive communication. So I worked with adults that had brain injuries, like from the military, strokes, accidents. And then I did speech therapy in the schools. I started having a lot of meetings and IEPs and paperwork, and a friend at a charter school, which is a privatized school that has to follow our state guidelines to get state funding, basically. I know not every state has those, but I taught for 2 years like a developmental first grade. So students in intervention and on IEPs and that were ESL, that kind of thing.
Okay.
And
Now, really quickly, what is IEP for those of
uh,
us who aren't?
individualized education plan. So those are students with special needs,
Okay.
like learning disabilities or
Mhm.
autism or speech
Okay, so
language
you were
impairment.
in really intense stuff, much more intense than teaching English as a second language
Yeah,
online
yes, yeah.
before. Okay, and
Um,
any plans to go back to that?
um, well, I stopped to stay. Well, my husband and I actually were foster parents for a year, and
Oh,
then we found, well, more than a year, 2 years.
amazing.
We found out we were gonna have my daughter, and so I stayed home with her. The foster children got reunified with their mom, and I stayed home with my daughter still. So she's 3 now. Probably when she's 5 or 6, I'll
Hmm.
go back into, I don't know if I'll do speech therapy, maybe both, teaching. I still want to teach online though, because I love it, like on the weekends and
Hmm.
before.
Yes, it's just so much fun, which is why a lot of us are doing it, and many of us have made the switch to do it full time. Well, that's great. That's a very interesting, amazing professional background.
Yeah, kind of
And
varied and diverse. It's
yes,
a lot, so I tried to go through it all quickly.
yes. Well, it's and it just sounds so. It sounds emotionally draining, but it also sounds fulfilling at the same time.
Yes.
And it gives you a good background for the speech therapy for doing what we do, which is trying
Yeah.
to teach proper pronunciation. Do you use a lot of those techniques
Oh,
with
yes.
your
Yeah,
Chinese students?
I definitely do those sounds they struggle, and I do all my speech therapy moves.
Hmm.
On Instagram, I've posted some of the tips for things that over the years I noticed helped the students. So I'm always
Yes.
posting like that TH sound and the R sound.
And that brings me to my next question. What companies do you teach with, and do you have any other side businesses going on?
No other side businesses. So I really love both companies. They've been amazing and
Hmm.
so good to me. I'm so grateful to be with both of them.
Okay. You know what? Oh, great. I'm sorry. Say that one more time because for some reason, I think it, when you said the companies you were working with, it kind of hiccuped there.
Okay. Um, okay. So I work for VIPKid and Gogokid, both companies, and I'm really grateful to be with both companies. They've been amazing.
Yes, I feel the same way. All right, so what are your favorite lessons to teach with each company?
Um, I'm loving with VIPKid any kind of water lessons, so like the semi-aquatic, the bodies of water. So
Hmm.
I'm obsessed with the swim dance right now, which you can Google it. It's the Beach Boys. You just act like you're swimming. So I do this, and the older students, they kind of laugh at me, and then they'll do it too a little bit. Also the animal lessons, because you can act out all the animal movements. And then with Gogokid, I love their trials. I love their mango trial. If you're a friend on Instagram, you know I'm obsessed with the mango trial.
The mango
Um,
phenomenon, and you're our mango ambassador.
yes, yeah, and I also really love the red trial, and I don't. Their trials are so fun. I don't know why. I just really, I when I see I have a trial, I'm like, yes, and please show up. So
Yes, I like them too. I think they're easy. They don't intimidate the children. They're easy to extend with. I have great fun with them too.
yeah.
All right, so what do you do in the 5 minutes between classes? Do you have 5 minutes in between classes?
Um, it depends with regulars, not usually. I'm usually like right at the 28 minutes, but I basically just pull down my like reset the rewards and move the props and get new
Okay.
props and get a drink. That's about it. And then just kind of sit here and I don't know,
And
relax.
yes, relax our facial muscles.
Yes.
Uh, um, and what is your feedback style like?
Um, feedback style. I always try to start with something personal that the student told me. Like they just had that Chinese National Day and the week off
Hmm.
school. So a lot of them told me about their trip. So I started off,
Hmm.
I was glad to hear about so and so's trip to Britain and that she liked the food or
Hmm.
whatever. So I try to start with something personal and then I usually give them what they did well in the lesson, kind of a summary of what we did, what we need to work on, what they need to work on. And that I always phrase it as she needed help or he needed help with this. We will continue to work on it in class. So that way the parent knows what they struggle with, but I'm not putting any like pressures or demands on them because,
Yes.
you know,
I think that's the way it's been advised to state
yeah,
it with various people who are more informed about Chinese culture and communication.
yeah.
So I think that's good. Um, Next question. Sorry, I totally lost my train of thought here. How has Feedback Panda enriched your daily life, or how has it made it easier?
Oh my gosh. I wish I did it sooner. Like, I wish the second I signed my contract that I did Feedback Panda. It saves me so much time. Um, I can teach more classes now. I don't teach that many classes, so I'm not, I just do it part time. So I thought I didn't really need it, but I'm getting in like five, 5 to 8 more classes a week because it's so much
Hmm.
better with Feedback Panda, which I love.
Okay, so it's really worth it for you. Um, the the price of the subscription is
Oh,
really worth it for you. Okay.
yeah, the price is like one class teaching one class a month, but I'm getting
Yes.
the time it saves. I'm getting to teach way more
Yes.
classes. So
Yes,
yeah,
that's the way I see it too.
I
Uh,
love.
do you find that using it for VIPKid is the same as using it for Gogokid?
Um, Gogokid, it's really helpful because they're still fairly new and
Mhm.
their system, they're updating their pages and all of that, but they don't show what students you've taught before.
Mhm.
They don't have the teacher to teacher feedback and they don't
Right.
show your previous feedback.
Right.
So Feedback Panda tracks all of that for me. Now my go-to thing as soon as I open my computer in the morning, I always open Feedback Panda and I look, have I taught this student before? and what were my
Good
notes
idea.
on them, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
Otherwise, I couldn't keep track of it. So,
Okay. Well, that's a really good suggestion for those of us who do work with both companies. I
yeah,
do, and many of us on Instagram do.
yeah.
Um, so what are your hobbies and interests? What do you do when you're not teaching?
Um, when I have time, yoga. I love yoga and
Hmm.
running, and then also I have the worst hobby for living in the desert. I knit, so I can knit like socks, gloves, full sweaters, everything. I can wear them like 1 week out of the year. It's good for baby shower gifts, I guess. But yeah, any kind of outdoors thing with my family, spending time outside. So
Okay. Okay. Well, and you get to do more of that now, being at home and teaching online.
yeah, yeah.
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 Okay. Good. Let's see. Next question. What do you like to see when you read other feedback, teacher to teacher feedback, or do you read it at all?
Um, I like to see if they have like in their English name, if the name's different, um, if the age is wrong, and if the
Hmm.
gender is wrong. So
Yes.
just kind of that kind of information, and then also pacing tips. So if there's a student that really struggles with phonics blending, I like to know, do I need to pull out? Do I need to focus more time on that and pull out like my magnets and um, extra props to help support them with that? I think that's about behavior stuff. I don't really like to see. I like to give them a
Yeah.
fresh start. Their preference for
Hmm.
like rewards. I'm like, I'll get to know them. I'll figure
Hmm.
that out. But
Hmm.
just things for pacing and information that might be incorrect.
Yes. Yes. The name thing is huge.
Yeah.
If they know the English name of the student, or if they know how to pronounce their Chinese name, that's
Oh
huge.
yeah.
That's a big help.
Yeah.
Um, you've shared stories about your daughter learning Mandarin and Spanish, really cute videos. She looks like she's having a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
So how important is this to you that she learn another language?
Um, it's very important to my husband and I.
Hmm.
Even when I was pregnant with her, we knew we wanted to try and expose her to and try to help teach her Spanish, French, and Mandarin. Just because those are the three most like spoken languages in the world besides English, and the most that Americans have contact with in the career world. Um, so we started doing nursery rhymes, and I had been searching since she was about 3 months old for things, but there wasn't anything. And then I just found this company, pandatree.com,
Hmm.
and we do lessons online with them, and she loves it. It's awesome. Well, we all see teaching with VIPKid or Gogokid, the progress and the growth that the
Yes.
students make. So it's nice to get to do that for my daughter since I do it for a living.
And we've
Yes.
included your link to Panda Tree on your written blog post too, so that
Yeah.
people can check that out. Um, I'm curious, what made you decide that she should learn at a young age, as opposed to many American parents who don't even touch the second language thing until their kids are in high school. And by the way, I agree. I think the research is there that, that children learn best when they're infants.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
so what made you start her this young?
Well, with the speech language background, I've had a lot of education on language development,
Hmm.
and all, like you said, all the research is there that the earlier you start them, the easier it is. And uh, yeah, so I wanted to give her, like, she doesn't have to pursue it when she's older if she doesn't want, but I want her to be able to choose and it to be easy for her if she
Yes,
doesn't want to, kind
I
of thing.
agree.
When they're young, it's we've some of you have probably seen it in your students, like the older ones that start later, their
Yes.
pronunciation is
Pronunciation.
so
Yep.
difficult to get that pronunciation. And she's 3 and she's already doing the pronunciation in Mandarin better than
Exactly.
me. So they're just developmentally, it's like a critical time for
Now,
that.
did you start speaking another language at a young age? And if you didn't, do you wish you had that same encouragement?
I started Spanish in school. My school had it. So when I was like about 5, uh, I wish that I could have somehow, I think there was a lot of less, like there weren't things online when I was a kid, you know? So there were a lot less opportunities for that.
Hmm.
But it would have been nice if, I mean, I would love to be able to speak fluently in other languages if I could, but I can't. So,
And it's so much harder the
yeah.
older we get, and then to hang on to whatever we learn.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's so funny to see. I'm learning a lot too as a teacher, and it's helping me be a better teacher.
Hmm.
Seeing my daughter take those classes because it looks totally different from the parents' side. Like the incidental language, if there's too much incidental language, her attention is just gone. Um, so that's like a good reminder to me to like
Yes.
to stick to what the objectives are, you know,
Hmm.
which are it's hard to do sometimes. And um, yeah, but just seeing how she picks up on the pronunciation, and it's so hard for me. So
Well, I'm sure you're great at it. You were speaking a little bit to me our last conversation, and you sounded terrific to me.
yeah, it's a lot. Like the few things I can say, it takes me a lot to get there. Like I have to constantly watch the playbacks of her classes that we had, and sometimes I ask Siri, like, Siri, how do you say this in Mandarin to remind myself? So, and then I have post-its on the fridge, but yeah, it's difficult. And the little ones, they just pick it up like that. So,
Yes, they do. It's incredible. Well, anything else you would like to tell us?
um, I don't know. Not that I can think of. I have a Facebook group. If you want
Okay.
some resources that I'm kind of making as I go with Gogokid to share, and I'm sharing it with other people because
Okay.
there's not a lot of like Gogokid specific resources
You mean
yet.
like rewards and props? Oh, I did see something about characters like Alex and Amy and
Yeah, yes,
okay.
the characters. Yeah, because some of the Gogokid lessons are just saying hi or hello,
Right.
you know. So so we say hi to all the Gogokid characters, you know, and then of course all the other props and toys I have too. But I wanted to have the characters that they would be continually seeing through the lessons, so I made some of those to share
Okay.
that. It's ESL props and rewards.
ESL props and rewards, and we did put that also in the blog post for anyone who wants to go visit that page. It's also on the Feedback Panda blog
Yes.
for Margaret.
And I will add about FeedbackPanda that I recently started using a lot of smart sentences. I don't know
Hmm.
why I didn't discover that function sooner, but I love your smart sentence function or
I know, I love them too.
yeah.
I mean, you can actually put like entire paragraphs in.
Yes, I have. I just made a Halloween one this morning, so I can click that from all my classes. We learned about Halloween in America and did a Halloween reward. So I'm using
Yes.
that smart sentence right now through Feedback Panda.
Yes, and that's the thing about Feedback Panda is that it's so customizable, if that's a word. And you can tailor it to your own needs. Like I was telling you, I use the student profiles to put in all their addresses as I collect them, so that I don't have to keep it on my unwieldy Word document. So it's just a whole,
Yes.
what I like to call customer uh, relation customer relation tool, you keep all of your info in one central location.
Yes. Yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us, Margaret. And again, your blog post will be in written form on the Feedback Panda blog, and everyone can see your links and um, go to those web pages.
Oh, thank you. And I love
I didn't
Feedback
say that
Panda.
very well. I'm sorry.
I love Feedback Panda, so I feel honored. Thank you.
Well, thank you, and have a wonderful night.
You too.